Hi, this is Robert Clickybeard with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. We're going to take about 30 minutes of your life to deliver some amazing content from accomplished leaders, business owners, to provide you some great Ironman mindsets to help you scale your business, to become a better leader and push yourself out of a comfort zone into something that's going to stretch you. We hope you really enjoy these shows and encourage you to like and share with your friends, your network, family members. Try and get a wider audience and improve our industry. On each show, I'm going to try and pull out one type of Ironman mindset, insight that you can take back to your business. And if you're implementing one insight every single week or all the shows, then it's going to make a dramatic improvement to your business. Super excited as well to share that we're partnering up with Boss Business Management Software, which is the ultimate cloud-based solution providing comprehensive insights and tools to optimize performance. Join the Boss community today and transform your business so you too can say, my boss is working for me. Cheers, everyone. Hi, Robert Clickybeard with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. Really excited today to be joined by Mario and Diego. Guys, thank you for joining me on the show today.
No problem, Robert. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be a part of it, and congrats on your show too. So it's real cool to be a part of it.
So I saw you guys in Nashville. It was the Lawn and Landscape show, just talking about scaling up and how to improve your business and get to another level. I'd love to just hear about you guys. Tell us, the audience, a little bit about your background.
I'm Diego. So a little bit about our background. I mean, we're family owned and operated. I was introduced a little bit to the industry to my father. Been doing it for majority of our life. I was in the hospitality background prior to this. That's kind of my niche. I love being around people. I like being taught, and I also like teaching. Leadership, servant leadership is just a lot of positive things that I guess the way we structured Royal in a way where we all kind of brought our minds together. And we all have a little bit different things to bring to the table, which kind of, I came with the hospitality background, my father with all the knowledge. And then Mario, Mario's just been one of those kind of the force behind the whole thing, because I think he's always, coming up with more ideas and this and that, and we should do this. And, literally, I always give props to him that, Royal kind of, the idea of Royal kind of came to actual life because of him. So, him having that drive, or like, hey, we can do it. And as a family, it was just it's just a blessing to be where we are now and still be able to work with my family every single day. As far as the business goes too, we're your typical kind of start with the truck and a trailer and a mower. I remember being around 8 or 9, Diego probably 10 or 11. He's my older brother. We would just be able to my dad would let us mow lawns as far as I could see on both sides of the street. So we would do the houses. We did residential on our neighborhood or on the street we grew up on. And then it turned into junior high. We did it throughout junior high. We did it through high school, which was always embarrassing, door to door knocking, and on the cute girls come out and you're asking to do their parents' yard. We did it through college. We're both Grand Canyon University graduates, and then now we're on our 6th year into the actual business, and we should be breaking a little over 100 guys by the end of the year, probably 104. 108, 110, God willing. So we've just been scaling it. A lot of trial and error. Even going to Nashville, like you said, we met. That was we were like starstruck. Just, knowing about your a little bit of your history with ILM. Like, for us, you guys are the big dogs. You guys are the big players. And now that we're making our name for ourselves, it's just exciting. But really, all it's been is just like a dream, kind of living the American dream with a truck and a trailer, and now taking it to over 35 trucks and hopefully doing over $6 million in revenue this year.
What made you jump from doing obviously house to house, doing knocking on doors, to jumping into commercial? Because that's quite a big jump. A lot of companies start that way, but that's in terms of insurance, different requirements. Talk me through that jump.
I would say the biggest thing that really took us there was our dad. He was already working at another company here in the Valley. And then when I was going to graduate from Grand Canyon University, I did an interview with them, and then I got more of a feel. There was things that I saw that, man, I was like, I don't really like what they're doing, and I was like, I'm going to do like the more of a residential install. We already had made a lot of relationships, and in this business, Robert, it's like a cliche as it sounds, but it's not always what you know, but who you know. And so you try to get away from that, from those HOAs or those office complexes. And people already know you, and they're like, "Hey, just come back, come back, come back, do a bid." And the guys we have aren't doing as good of a job, and so it's kind of it was a little inevitable. And the other reason too is just obviously the bigger pay. I mean, residential's low paid for what it is. We beat each other up a lot in prices, and so it just there's a lot more margins in the commercial side of it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're doing, your maintenance is almost like the foot in the door. Then you're selling them enhancements and tree work and all that other stuff. So
exactly,
that's awesome. I love stories like that. So talk me through, because finding guys, because a lot of times people struggle with getting that labor to scale up a company. You've obviously scaled up pretty quickly. So talk me through that piece about the finding the guys, making sure you've got good guys, training them.
Diego does a lot of the hiring, so I'll let him kind of handle that one. Yeah, when it comes to finding the right guys, I mean, I guess it goes back to when we're looking for somebody. I always start with the question is like, how did you hear about us? Or what are your goals? I really do take the time to sit down with individuals, whether they're younger, older, what their interest is in the company. At the beginning of Royal, it was a lot of, whoever would believe in us and wanted a job, we would just offer them the job. But it got to the point where now we can actually, pick the right people for the right positions, interview them. It's a little bit more laid back. To the point where we've created more positions such as like supervisors and stuff like that within our motto right now is, we don't hire leaders from outside. We make our own leaders, and then we start building them up. So that way we're able to retain employees, provide them a little bit more pay, more opportunities. We take them to school, such as like Smartscape classes. We're big on anything that comes our way landscape related, and we're able to put our employees through. We offer it to them, and a lot, we're very blessed because a lot of the people that take those opportunities, they always tell us, "I never heard of such a thing. I never worked for a company where they would actually, persuade you to go get your spray license, persuade you to go to a Smartscape class." Like we would, sometimes I think we maybe as business owners, we just get lost in the day-to-day things that sometimes the people around us they're with us every single day. They're willing and they're able to and they want to take those opportunities. So I think that brings a lot more people in the door because they hear about the things that we offer. So it kind of goes back to that's a little bit of a competitive advantage, I think, when it comes to getting good people in the door and keeping people long term. I think just to overgeneralize it too is just a good culture, keeping a really good company culture. For us, like the market is here, as you know, Robert, again, in Phoenix. I mean, they're building HOAs everywhere. There's landscaping everywhere, right? So you could bet that you're going to get work, right? But then the other side of that is, okay, you got the work. What are you going to do now? And so I feel like companies, what they do a lot is they focus on the let's just say the community manager or on the client, which is really important. I mean, the customer experience and the client experience is very important, but at the same time, they forget to worry about their people, right? They just think about their numbers and how to cut this off and out of that. And with our issue is we have a whole crap load of work here in Phoenix, but the thing is we don't always have the people. So what we try to do is double down on how could we find good people, keep good people, and then motivate them, advance, want them to grow. Because in reality, the work's going to be there. The biggest thing is just we got to have the people.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. That's the way how we operate at the ILM. And then if you take care of the people first and treat them well, respect them, then in turn, they'll probably treat their clients really well. They'll take care of their properties. They'll have a sense of pride in their equipment, their trucks, the people. So 100% spot on. You've obviously scaled up quickly. What are some of the other challenges that you've come across as you've grown your company?
I think some of the challenges, it's again, just generalizing to Arizona. I don't know if it applies to everyone, but like there's a landscaper in every corner. Sometimes you pull up to a stop sign and there's landscapers. A lot of competition. It goes back to just getting the right people. I think finding your niche. I think the biggest thing with the competition is finding your niche, right? Like what business model or what is going to work for your business. Not trying to be like
hey, I want to be the next ILM, or I want to be the next caretaker, or a pro qual. Like, what's going to make us different, or what is already making us different, and let's just double down on that. Obviously, I want to talk to people like you or Encore. Oh, man, I forgot his name. That we met him from
John Garrigan.
Yeah, from Encore. He was, he has a lot of knowledge and stuff that's working out for him. But at the same time, you just got to find your niche. So that's been a kind of a hard thing, right, through the business growth. But the biggest thing that's helped us out is finding a niche, things that we're good at, jobs that we're good at. If maintenance is our main thing, like let's double down on making a great maintenance experience. And also, maybe not every community is for us, so let's put a minimum. We're only doing these type of communities for this price, and build a brand from there. So I would say competition for sure has been something that we've had to throw around a lot. Like, man, what are the other guys doing, and what could we do differently, or what could we do better? Another issue of part of growing, and I think this goes for anybody out there listening to start a business, is rounding up money, and in turn knowing your numbers. I mean, we're doing this just from our family. Like, we've never had somebody, hey, my dad handed me the
almost.
yeah, exactly. And so you might get your first check, and you get a $20,000-$30,000 check, and you think you made it. Like, you're like, holy cow. And then you go and you blow it, and you forget that you need those 20 grand. You were gonna maybe make 5 grand profit off of that, and you already blew it. You bought this, you bought that. HOAs take a long time to pay too. We're probably typically 45 to 60 days out on our money. And so the first few years that you don't have that cash flow yet, so managing the money, being frugal with it, not getting too crazy, not too wild with it, not spending it unwisely is very, very hard. And it's easier said than done, because every week is a long week, and every month is a long month, and every year is a long year, and you always deserve a little treat, right? But you got to be careful with those treats so they don't get out of hand, and you don't go splurging too much. So for sure, I would say number one or number two would probably be the money managing. And that goes in line too, Robert, with knowing your numbers. Like, how much is a job actually costing you? How much is that crew actually costing you? How much, does it take to acquire those type of jobs? Things like that. If you don't know your numbers, you're just like my dad always says, we're just kind of spinning our wheels and going nowhere with it. And sometimes you're really good at doing the job, right? You could be the best tree trimmer, or you could be the best installer. But if you don't know your numbers, and you're not watching what's actually being produced, and how much money is being left over, and then how you're spending that, or how you're using that money, you're never going to be a business owner. You're never going to have a company. You're never going to be able to scale. And it's a lot. If you've never done it before, you have to screw up a lot. A lot. I mean, you got to be willing and able to kind of put your walls down, and have even somebody from the outside come and tell you, like, hey, you idiot, like, what are you doing? And you think this is my business and I'm running it right. But you got to put your walls down, put your ego down, and also be able to take that kind of criticism, and admit when you screw up.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, two great points. I mean, the cash flow piece is great advice, because a lot of companies think that once they're past that 3-4 year hump, then it gets easier. But there's still issues, and people. You're right. Some people get that money from their clients, and then they go out and buy a ton of equipment, and they don't necessarily need to. There's other ways to grow smartly through either renting or leasing or something. And then to your point about again, hiring the right people, finding that differentiator. I mean, you've gone through that startup phase where you've been trying to grab as much revenue as possible, getting on all these clients as possible, but you're now in that scale up stage, which is trying to find who are your ideal clients, who are the people trying to pay us the most amount of money that actually are fun to work with.
Yep.
And obviously making sure you've got the right team in place, which you seem to be doing a good job of, and taking care of them. So sounds like you've got a good recipe going on there.
Yeah. It's really has been working out. It's funny because a lot of customers are knocking on their doors, right? Which is a great thing. But even that could be, you have to, like, as an owner, like me, like with the president of the company, you have to remember that, where are we headed? What direction are we going? So I could have a lot of clients knocking on my door, but I got to remember that based off of our business model or the parameters that we set, they're not all good clients. So even learning to say no, I have a no button here on my office that Diego got me for Christmas, because the one thing I struggle with is like, it's just saying no. It could be one of my first clients, and they were paying me $500 a month, and I'm doing contracts that are paying me, let's just say, 10 grand a month. But it's like I just can't seem to say no to them, but they're not doing anything good for my business, and so, or for my team, or for anybody else around me. So I had to kind of put my big boy pants on, take the criticism from my partner, my business partner, my brother, and realize that I need to start saying no more. So I need to put that ego down, put those walls down. Also realize what I'm doing wrong and what I could do better. Apply it, and it might not be tomorrow, but a year later, you start seeing the results of what of those good those good choices that you made, or listening to those people around you.
Yeah, that's great advice. What I know, managing cost and looking at what jobs you go after and pricing jobs is super important. Are you using a software to do that?
That's a great question, and a lot of people have asked us that. We aren't right now. We have our own internal app that we've been working on, as far as looking at our numbers, keeping work orders, invoices, communication, all that. Our own internal app, where we haven't needed or wanted necessarily, more like wanted. We probably have needed it a couple of times, but we haven't wanted to try an outside source or program or anything like that. There's been a couple of times that we've looked into it, but it's worked out for us so far.
I think a lot of it too is just the way, again, going back to how we kind of started, and now having that background of somebody that handed you down this with the blueprint on what to do and when to do it. I mean, we've been growing. I think this is what makes it fun for us, is growing at a pace and at a rhythm that we're able to enjoy every moment of every year of growth. I don't know if you've seen, but we have pictures of when we first started, and it's crazy seeing it. And sometimes like Omar said, people from the outside, whether it's family, friends, people that's not even in the industry, they'll remind you, hey, I remember when it was only, so 10 of you guys or 5 of you guys. And it's crazy because now we're just sucked into the now that, going back to that question that you had asked about, the software stuff, we haven't felt like we needed it yet, but we're all very open to those kind of suggestions. And sometimes people, they'll reach out to us and offer it. So even doing this team building or relationship building, it's new to us, but we like it to get different viewpoints.
Obviously, I don't know if you even know these statistics, but only 4% of companies that start up every year get to $1 million, and the fact that you're approaching 6 million. I mean, great credit to what you guys have built.
Thank you.
And yes, I know you're taking care of guys. You've got some quality there, but you obviously, you've been going out there, you've been hustling, you've been talking to clients, probably joining different business groups. It's got that nice balance between getting work and obviously keeping work.
Right.
How have you just managed that? Is that just through your partnership together, or?
I'm going to give a lot of kudos to me personally to where we used to work, to the other company we used to work at. And like I said, there was things that I saw that were just blatantly wrong, right? Like for example, we were so focused, super hyper focused on new clients all the time. How can we make these new clients happy? How can we get these new clients in the door? How could we give them more stuff, or to use us, or right? And how can we get more salespeople? But then what happened is we would stop focusing on the clients that we have, right? Mm-hmm. And then you forget that the clients that you have, and you know it better than us, Robert, is what about those extras? You could almost make enough money off of tree work, enhancements, rock, turf conversions, storm damage, irrigation, all those upgrades, all those enhancements, all that extra work. You can almost make more money off of that, off of your current existing clients, than you would to go spend and all that time wasted to go find new clients, right? And 100%. So that's one thing that's been really, really big for us, is why am I going to go look at the neighboring community? Let's say if I have a Robert HOA South, why am I going to go speak nicely and go talk nicely to Robert HOA North, when South has been treating me good and they have so much extra work? They have fall planting, spring planting. They want to do those turf conversions. They want to do granite replenishment. They want to do lighting. They want to do those irrigation conversions. Because then if I just keep adding and adding and adding, I never get to give Robert HOA South the time of day that they need, or I never get to actually even be the full person that I went and I sold myself to be, or my company to be. Mm-hmm. So really, our focus has been kind of probably the opposite of what most companies do, or at least the company that I was at, is that we're just super hyper focused on what we have. And when people start coming knocking at the door, now I'm responding to you at the door like, hey, I have a minimum and this is what it is. Are you willing to pay it? And if they say yeah, then I'm gonna start opening that door a little bit bigger. And then it's almost like we're more wanted. It's like reverse psychology type of thing. We're more wanted because we're not so far out there. Like we're not going and knocking. Not everybody knows about us, so they're curious. And that the jobs that they do see us on, we're killing it. Our communities are looking great. Our guys are all uniformed. We're looking like a whole unit. We're pumping out extra work out of them, so we're able to produce that 6 million out of probably less than 30 HOAs that we have. And so that's been our biggest thing, is let's just focus really, really hard on what we have, the people we have, everything we have now in front of us. And let's pick and choose as things are coming our way. If it's a good deal and it's a good client, it's someone that, like you said, we're going to have fun and working with, let's do it. Then we're going to take that one on, really, sell them everything that we have, our whole company from top to bottom, sell them on all the enhancements, sell them on everything we have, get them all going. And then God's timing is always perfect. It's almost like when we're settled in, he sends us another little trophy or another little big one to get worried about. So that's been really the way we've structured it, and it's worked out for us. Like I said, here, at least in the Phoenix area, the market allows for that. There's just so much work that I think it would be damn near impossible to monopolize this place. I don't think one company could take over all the Phoenix metropolitan area, because there's just too much work. We're just a little crumb in the big cake here of Phoenix. But for that same reason, we've taken that approach. It's like we don't necessarily have to look for work. Let's just be really good at where we're at. We're 6 years into it. We're starting to get to know. They're starting to get to know us. We're starting to build a brand for ourselves. So let's just focus on what we got, and let's wait till ILM messes up, and then it'll come our way.
There you go. I love that approach, because clients are not going to approve enhancements unless you're doing a good job. Right. You're either communicating with them or the quality in the job's good. So, I love that approach. And then, as you do a good job, make their lives easier. A lot of them are typically looking after a portfolio of 5 or 10 properties. So it's easy for them to then give you another 1 or 2 of their properties. So it's almost like that low-hanging fruit if you do a good job.
Exactly. And here in our market, at least it's worked out because it's there, like I said. And I know a lot of companies, what they're doing is just looking for the next big trophy, and like the next big community. But it's almost as they get 1 or they get 2 come on, they're losing 1. So it's like, right, for them, it's like a rotating door, which is fine. I mean, they're huge and they're getting huge that way and things like that. But for us too, it's like we're trying to enjoy this along the way.
That's good. Well, it's almost, I think the mindset is that there's some excitement about getting a new property, whereas the hard work is keeping the property, keep the quality there, keep the client happy, and you'll just naturally get work. So that's a harder route to go. So nice jobs, guys, for just grinding in there. So what does it look like in the future for Royal? What does it look like in 3-5 years?
That's a great question. We always say we want to get as big as God and our guys want us to get. Going back to the enjoyment of it, if our team is responsive right now and they're super agile and they're looking to sprint and run, so we're running alongside with them. We're leading the pack. If in 5 to 10 years they decide not to, then maybe it might change our trajectory. But as of right now, we're going full steam ahead. We're doubling down on what we're doing good, taking on everything we can, focusing on what we do have as well without, losing that. But I would say just become a top 5 established company here in the Valley. We always talk about saying if we were to go to another state, we would be open to it. Maybe, partnering with somebody or somebody to teach us honestly how to be able to do that. We wouldn't be against it, but our team would have to be on board. That's one thing. Right. We don't want to do it alone. I sure as heck don't. I mean, it has to be a team effort. We got to sit everybody down. Right now we have a good team of about 9 of us that sit at the round table and we make decisions. Not necessarily all the big ones, but a lot of them we make together. So if the team was willing, able, and on the same page, I would say we would look to continue to expand. I think too, another thing that we really realized, Robert, is that like in the business world, you're either dying or you're growing. We used to think that there was like a middle ground, and we're just gonna stay small. We're gonna stay we're gonna stay a small company. We're gonna stay steady. There's no way. You're either growing or you're dying, because your people want to grow with you. Everybody wants to get a raise. People want to buy a house. People want to buy cars. People want to go on trips. People want to live out their dreams. And so if your business is just like this and they see no movement, they're going to go to the competition and find a better career, or even just leave the industry, right? And so we have to be growing. And that's the biggest thing for us. We want to be top five here in the state for sure.
I love it. No, I used to say that phrase all the time, that if you're not growing, you're dying. And you're right. If the employees don't see you growing and expanding and innovating, then they're going to move on to other companies, to other jobs. So you got to keep that excitement there for it, whether it be innovation within your company or whether it be, expanding to different branches, different states. And I think, you talk about competition, you're right, 100%. Phoenix is you can't go to a gas station without seeing another landscape company there. But, in some ways that I think it helps because it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
It keeps you looking to either improve what you're doing and keeping your employees, or you're innovating through different products or services. So, no, I think you're 100% spot on. So, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. I wish you all the best. I think you've done an amazing job so far. It's good to see a Phoenix growing company, expanding, doing well, taking care of your guys. So really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for the questions, for the opportunity. And whatever, if anybody has a question, even you yourself, we don't know everything, but as far as a startup and some honest answers, you could always reach out.
Yeah, what's the best way for them to do that? Go through LinkedIn? What's the best way for them to...
Instagram, we can attach it on there, or even our email address. We kind of use a general one that Diego and I use a lot. So email, Instagram, we'll put those on there, or even cell phone. We have a cell phone that we use, like an office phone, so they could even reach out there.
Okay, awesome, good. Diego, Mario, really appreciate your time today. Thank you. Good to see you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you, Robert.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully that was pure dead brilliant for you today, and you got some great Ironman mindset takeaways for your business or your leadership role. This is Robert Clickybeard. Love to get you, your friends, your employees to join us in our future journey. So please subscribe to your various podcast channels. Visit our website, commerciallandscaper.com or wilson-360.com. You could check out our digital courses. You could check out peer groups, coaching, my book, Ironman Mindset for Entrepreneurs. And we just want you to have a pure, dead, brilliant day. And finally, thanks again to Boss Business Management Software, which is the ultimate cloud-based solution providing comprehensive insights and tools to optimize performance. Join the Boss community today and transform your business so you too can say, my boss is working for me. Cheers, everyone.